These things, they start off slowly. You have, oh, a few people doing a peaceful protest. Before you know it, it turns into a riot. Before you know it, you have insurgents occupying part of a major city. What does that all have to do with tonight's movie? Well, it starts out the same way. You just don't wake up one morning and at 8:13 a.m., bang, there's an alien invasion. It always starts out with something small. That's what happens in tonight's movie. A cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is in. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am your cinematic professor and a purveyor of truth in movies. Tonight's lesson plan is called Battlefield 2025. And what we have is an independent movie that gives us a glimmer into the opening moments of Alien Invasion. Kind of interesting the way they did this here. We are introduced to about 15 characters, all in the span of the opening 21 minutes. It's like character overload. And then, when we finally do encounter our first alien, half of them are gone just like that. Each of these characters is a very stereotypical mien of a way of life, if you will. Okay, so we have ourselves the redneck couple, we have ourselves the modern couple, the young, high schoolish type couple. We have the bad guys, we have the good guys, uh, and there's you and me, and we just disagree. So we have all of this stuff going. There's a ton of stars in this. Jose Rosette is in this. Anna Har, she's apparently kind of popular with some of the little kiddie shows that are going on. She plays Allie in this. Dustin Layton, Caleb Thomas, Elena Latham, Adam Gold, and Titus Covington. Let me talk a little bit about Titus Covington because he plays the alien. Okay, while the rest of these actors are playing stereotypical roles, Titus gets to be the alien. This is kind of an interesting alien. He's basically in what appears to be a wetsuit, okay, with some baubles and babbles all over it, and his face is like a frog with giant tusks. Something a little bit different. He has an arsenal of weapons and an odd kind of like bluish glow around him. It's it's an interesting look, but it's not something that you're gonna go, it's not something that's gonna gross you out. Okay. So, as I said, we have about 15 characters in the beginning of this movie. Real quick, we're introduced to them. And at the first moment that the first alien ship crash lands, all right, and the alien comes out, half of those characters are gone, just like that. Now, they're in what I want to call semi gruesome deaths. It's not really something that it's, I wouldn't qualify this as a gore fest. Okay, half the time it's just poof. But it could have been one. I think if the budget had been a little bit bigger on this, it could have turned into a real gore fest. But as it is, it's pretty lame. People are getting wiped out, but it's done in a nice way. All right, this Battlefield 2025 is the brainchild of Joe Mabah, He directed it and he wrote it. He had a little help in writing it from Rob Conway, so the two of them kind of added a little bit in on this. This isn't a bad sci-fi flick. At times, some of the actors border on cheesy, but they never take the step over that line. So everything they do is kind of sort of acceptable, and you can say, okay, this is okay. It's the same thing with the alien. You look at the alien, and it's not something that is like, ooh, but and it's not something that's like a gorilla with a fishing helmet on its head. So for those of you that remember 50s sci-fi slots, but it has something that it's unique enough that you can accept it without realizing that it cost them an arm and a leg to put it together, because it certainly didn't. So what we have is a very low budget uh, sci-fi story that tells about the beginning of the alien invasion. In fact, there's only really one uh, SFX type scene in this, and they save that for the final reel. It's not bad. It clocks in at about 90 minutes, so it's right where it needs to be as far as time. It's actually a little bit shorter than that, and it's not a bad tale. Everybody pushes the envelope, okay, to turn this into like oh gee whiz, but they never cross the line, and as such, it kind of stays on this side, and you go, okay, we'll play along with this. So it's not a bad view at all. Battlefield 2025. Now that you have learned what you have learned, you have to do your lesson.